Is Archie's biological mother asking her son back after Meghan and Harry's divorce? This should not be put on the royals. It should reveal how far Markle and her prince went to great lengths to lie to the world. And I also don't believe the baby exists. Alright folks, so there is a rumor circulating right now that the biological mother of Archie is asking to get her son back after all the talk that the child could be sent to live in Jamaica if Harry and Meghan really do divorce. Truth be told, I think that Archie's surrogate mother never gave him up in the first place, which is exactly why Meghan and Harry needed to leave the country so soon after he was born. In the US, and I've read in the UK too, surrogate mothers actually always have the right to keep the baby if they want to. And it has been speculated since forever that Meghan and Harry's baby was born from a surrogate, and the surrogate ended up keeping the child. If there's any child at all, I don't believe for a second that they were able to use Meghan's eggs, because she had a hysterectomy, and she was the one who was so scared of producing a black baby after she spent her whole life denying her black roots, bleaching her skin, having surgery to try to minimize her black features, and only associating with people, and especially only dating white people. It's also well known that the kid the Sussexes have been using as Archie for at least the last couple of years is a boy they have rented named Gavin Gringus. So Gavin is the son of Bryn Gringus and Adrian Melia. He owns Melia Architect in New Jersey. He is that cute little boy with the head full of curly brown hair that we've seen in photos. Most of the photos have either been in black and white, or when they're in color, the last few had his hair colored to make it look red, to make it look like Harry's. Now apparently Gavin's parents have decided they don't want to rent him out anymore because the last boy Meghan took to that 4th of July parade was not Gavin Gringus. It was a little boy I've never even seen before. Now, the only child I have ever seen that they pretend is Lilibet would be Hartford Schroeder. She's the daughter of Beau and Stassi Schroeder of LA. Now, Stassi used to be a friend of Meghan's. The first photo of little Hartford I saw was of Meghan holding her while she was standing next to Hartford's mother, Stassi, who is a professional model. And Hartford looks just like her mother. I have seen that photo reprinted a few times of simply Meghan holding Hartford, but identified as Lilibet with Stassi cut out of the picture. And I've also seen the photo of Hartford sitting in the grass. They use that in a few different places, especially around the time that the late Queen passed away. It was showing Hartford as Lilibet in line of succession charts. What idiots, though, to use photos of rental children in official publications without verification of the kids' identities. Neither Meghan nor Harry has ever said that blonde girl was actually Lilibet, but the gossip magazines just assumed that she was, and Meghan and Harry never bothered to correct them, of course. Stassi and her daughter Hartford did mother and daughter modeling, and I know that Stassi had talked about doing that as soon as Hartford was a little bit older. Just this past winter, People magazine announced the mother-daughter modeling debut, showing a really cute photo of the two modeling some matching raincoats and boots with their hair in ponytails. Now maybe Stassi just got sick and tired of Meghan and Harry exploiting their daughter. Maybe she got tired of poor Hartford being identified with the increasingly unpopular grifters, so Stassi is wanting to kick off a successful modeling career with the toddler instead. Now that Meghan and Harry's popularity has tanked, she's probably wanting to cut ties. The obviously older girl with the reddish curly ponytails that Harry was holding at the 4th of July parade was definitely somebody new. We've never seen her before. She was a lot bigger and older than Lilibet could possibly be. I mean, this whole parade of interchangeable Invisikids with pale white skin and red hair are becoming undeniable evidence that there were never any children born from Meghan's body. They're not born with her DNA. So by the clearly defined rules of succession, neither Archie nor Lilibet should be in the line of succession, and they need to be removed as soon as possible. This is an incredibly serious situation. This is a scam. Meghan and Harry need to have their titles removed, and those invisible kids need to have their titles removed too. King Charles and Parliament should insist that both kids be produced and turned over alone to King Charles and his private physicians, along with legal representation and law enforcement. They should be expected to turn over all hospital birth certificates and records. They should have to find the doctors who delivered these alleged Sussex children, and the kids need to undergo blood work and DNA analysis. If the results come back as expected, that no doctors can be found that delivered these children, that Meghan's DNA is not in any of them, that the surrogate mothers gave birth, etc., the kids are out, and Harry and Meghan are done as far as royal titles and any royal coffer support goes. Meghan married Harry because she wanted fame and she wanted money, and Harry was born and raised by the next in line to the throne, and for years he was third in line to the throne, so his betrayal is actually a lot worse than hers. It doesn't matter how dumb and jealous he is. Harry's lifetime of being at the heart of the monarchy should have made his loyalty clear, but instead it exposed his most despicable character trait. He's so dangerous he should never be allowed anywhere near the throne, and he certainly shouldn't be allowed to get close to any heirs of the throne. See, traditions have to be forgotten when somebody is basically the same as a terrorist. If everything about the invisible children turns out to be a hoax, or even just the damage that Harry has done by omission with his nasty family betrayals, then he shouldn't get anything from the family, and he especially shouldn't get any royal money. No free royal homes either. He shouldn't be invited to family events. He shouldn't get any perks. Andrew may be an entitled jerk, but still, he's not really betrayed any member of his family. He hasn't tried to destroy anybody else's life. So if you ask me, there is a big difference between the two. Harry reflects poorly on the royal family, and so does Andrew, but Andrew is subdued compared to Harry. He wasn't convicted of anything, let's remember, and I'm actually a bit suspicious of that woman who had so many high-profile, very wealthy clients, but only wanted to sue the son of the Queen and the head of the Church of England, somebody who would pay anything to hush up that scandal. She didn't really care whether he was guilty or not. But Andrew is no enemy of the royal family like Harry is. And I understand HIPAA laws are important in the US, but it seems to me, without divulging any medical details, the monarchy can just say that Archie and Lilibet are not in the line of succession. That tells all of us that either there are no kids, or if there are children, they do not meet the requirements. And I don't see how that could possibly be breaking any privacy laws. Now, I'm not a lawyer, but I can't help but believe that any monarchy would not have the right to say who is in the line of succession based on the information they may have. I understand that Harry, in his paranoid mind, may not always want to parade his children around in public, if there are any. But I also do not believe for 1 second that Meghan wouldn't be so excited to share the information to cement her and the kids having a connection to the royal family. That right there tells me all I need to know. What I have never understood, though, is how they pulled off the photo with Meghan and Harry and the late Queen and Prince Philip looking at Archie. If the photo was never actually taken and Meghan and Harry just put it out there through some good Photoshop work, then the silence from the royal family creates a pretty big problem if you ask me. If Harry and Meghan have never provided any real information, and if they've never allowed the royal family to at least obtain their own DNA, that should really preclude at least part of the problem. I mean, if Harry's DNA isn't there, then it's done. And if his DNA is there, then we've still got a problem, because we've got to prove or disprove that Meghan is the natural mother, and that's a lot more difficult to resolve. If nothing is in place legally at this point, then this should be a wake-up call for all monarchies out there to have in place something to enforce the requirements. Parliament should really put that into law, something to force the providing of proof before one could be in the line of succession. I think that would be a great idea. I mean, having a doctor there and signing off would be a pretty great start. Am I crazy to think that laws should be enacted for future generations, though? I mean, who would have ever thought that we would see this happen? Who ever knew that all this was going to happen the day that Harry got together with Meghan Markle? This fiasco is all her doing, I'm sure. I don't think Harry's smart enough to pull this off. It looks like we all underestimated Meghan from the very beginning. And you, what do you think about this rumor? Please tell me your opinion below in the comments. If you think my video is useful, don't be afraid to like and share with your friends and relatives who need it anytime you want. And don't be afraid to click the subscribe button to get more updates in the future. Thank you so much for tuning in, have a lovely weekend, and we'll be back to see you all tomorrow.